What's going on, everybody? It's Jason. I'm joined by a friend, actor, book writer, artist. Larry is doing so many things. Mr. Larry Hankin, how you doing today, sir?
Okay. As we spoke before, I'm hanging in there. I'm keeping busy. Uh, it's really hard, man. Yeah, because I'm living in California, so right now the sun is out. It's about 78, 79 degrees. Everything is like normal, and that makes me very edgy because the rest of the world is going to hell in a handbag, and
It
nothing's happening here. So the big one's got to happen here. Then I mean, because everybody else is going through it, and we're untouched. It makes me very nervous.
Mhm.
You know, so I figure, well, California, right? Earthquake or fire, Plus, I live 4 blocks from the beach and I live in a flood zone. So, nothing's happening, but it can all happen. That's, but for right now, everything's fine.
That's awesome. You and I have talked about so much stuff. So going into today, I was like, what can we talk about now? But honestly, we haven't talked much about the process of you writing the book. What made you finally decide to do it? Like, why now?
I stopped acting. I just couldn't take it anymore. It's very hard being an actor when you really don't want to be one, but that's the only choice I have. It's the only thing. It's the least thing that bugs me is acting. So I do that. But finally, I was up to here. So I just quit for a while. I mean, I didn't retire. I just dropped out. And since I dropped out, I guess several other people dropped out, like my agents. So when I did want to get back in, my agents were gone. I thought, well, let me stay out for a little while longer and see what happens. And then I thought, oh, write a book. I have a lot of time on my hands. I wasn't going to auditions. I wasn't trying to learn lines. It was like, great. Wow. So this is what it is, not being an actor. Wow. Cool. So I started to write about the stuff that I have done, in show business. Stand up. I wrote about stand up, my stand up gigs, and Second City and the committee, and then all the TV shows and the movies. So that was that book. And it got rave reviews. I haven't got one bad review, not even an inkling of a, well, yeah, but none of that. Says, oh, this is really cool. It's called That Guy, by the way. Oh, wait, I have it right here. Here it is, right here. Oh, yeah, they just put it up. You just put it up. Okay, so anyway, I wrote that, and it got really good reviews. I don't know how it's selling. It's on Amazon. I don't know how it's selling. I thought it would be a smash hit right away. Maybe that was my ego. But it wasn't a smash hit immediately. It's only been out like 4 months, I think. But I guess it's doing okay. I check every once in a while. It's got 10 stars on Amazon.
Nice.
So, it must be pretty good. So I thought, well, I'll do another one. Okay. So this one is entirely different. That one was just what I did. It's kind of a memoir. It's a memoir. It's
Hmm.
a basic memoir. But this next one, I thought, well, I don't. I mean, I did my memoir. I did my memory. That was it. What I did once I left uh, my family up until kind of a couple of years ago. Uh, so it's about my arc in show business, and there's nothing interesting about anything else that's not in the book. So I thought I'd make one up. I'd do a fiction. So this one is a fictitious memoir of a fictitious human being called Barnum Justice. It's his and it's called, well, right now, the working title is the Poor Barnum's Journal. Poor Barnum's Journal. It's a journal. It's a journal of this guy who lives in his van, in his bus, in his VW bus, which I did for a year. I lived in my bus for. I was homeless for a year. So, but it's not about my being homeless. It's about this guy. But what I learned, though, that's I used that information of what I learned, and it's his trying to survive day by day, and also trying to fall in love, and it's trying to get those two things together. So it's coming along. It'll be finished in about another month, I guess. So that's what I'm doing.
Awesome. So yeah, it's something I've learned getting to know you over the years is that you're a very creative person. You finding writing has been a good outlet for you?
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, if you can do it, it's not easy. It's sometimes it's drudgery for me. But I do it religiously. I don't believe in religion. It was nice in the 12th century and Dark Ages. Religion in the Dark Ages, right on. No, not so much. But I do it every day. I mean, if you're going to write a book, you got to do it every day. Then you put it away for about a month or two. I never understood that. I never understood, why do you put it away? I mean, that's a waste of time. You could be writing and getting it out in those month or two. But for some reason, I had to do other things. So I had to put it away. I just couldn't do it every day. Well, I did some movies for friends. I do movies for friends. So I had to put it away. And so it just happened to be about a month that I had put it away. And I rushed back to it, and I found, holy cow, my mind is totally changed.
Mm-hmm.
So the takeaway about my book and the writing, so the takeaway I got from it, which is I understand why you put it away for a month. I didn't realize this. Nobody realized this. I'm just putting it out there. It's my opinion. But your mind changes every day, probably every minute. You just can't keep up with it. You don't notice it. It just changes very slowly. But over a month, you read something that you've been writing for months, but you've been away for it for a month. And then you go back to pick up where you left off. You even, left a marker, I was here and I was doing this when I left. And you go back and you read it totally different. I go, holy cow, my mind changed that much. Amazing. But it's good because you start to read it as another person. It's like, and so it's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
It's you go, oh, well, what I was trying. And you find out what your mind, I guess your subconscious, the inside mind, not the outside mind. You find out where that's at because it's masked by your daily just writing and trying to get from A to B to C. But when you see, from A to Z and you go, oh, that's what I was thinking, or that's what I went through, you can actually see yourself as another person. Now, that's my takeaway from writing a book. I don't know if all authors do that, but that's what happened with me. I put it away, I went back to it, and I read it like I was another person. So I could see either the mistakes, the strong points, and where I should take it, or where it wanted to go. From that point on, I let the book tell me what it was about, and where it wanted to go. And so I just followed it. I guess it's like improv.
Mm-hmm.
You get to, be a bus driver in a balloon. And you take those two disparate real things and you have to make a scene about it. And that's kind of what the book is. You see, well, I wanted to write about this, so I start writing. When you come back to it, you go, well, yeah, you were writing about this, But really underlying the whole thing is this, which I didn't see because it was masked by this. So when you read it later, you put it together and you go, oh, wow. It's like, well, I'll tell you what it's exactly like. I went to a psychiatrist for a while. It was years and years ago. And then, it was fine. It was worthwhile. But I thought, maybe writing a book is just like, instead of telling this to a psychiatrist, tell it to a white page. And it works. It's you, when you read it back, it's like you are now the psychiatrist, and this person, Larry Hankin, is talking to you through the book. And you see, wow, you see where this guy is at. That, I guess that's the takeaway. You see where you're at when the book is finished. You go, oh, so that's what that was all about. I didn't like my father. Oh, that's where that all that anger comes from. Yeah, so I think it's really freeing in a way. You just get a lot of bullshit out and on the page, but it becomes art.
Mhm.
The key to art is bullshit. Just getting the bullshit out. Just because people want to know about the bullshit. They really do. The personal you, the personal stuff,
Yeah.
stuff you don't say out loud. You put it down and you read it. So yeah, so this book, I'm finding out a little more about myself by writing a fictional book, not about me, but based on some stuff that is me and some stuff you have to make up. I mean, it's another person. This Barnum Justice is not me. It's
Hmm.
another guy. He reacts to things not like me, and then I find out where he wants to go. Well, I would do this, but not Barnum. Barnum would do that. So I have Barnum do that, and then I see, well, where is that going to take him? Because I would never do that. But it takes him off in a direction, and you go, wow, it's just interesting. It's something to do, folks.
Yeah.
It's something to do. Well, the stuff that I just told you is my take on it, but you just try writing and see what happens. I
Yeah.
get
No, I love that. Is acting kind of influencing writing the book as well? Because you said something that a lot of actors say, like, I let the character take me where the character is going to go. Is that kind of helping you guide this too? Some of your acting experience?
No, as a matter of fact, it made me a better actor. I found out a lot of things about acting by writing, because it has to do with truth telling. How much truth do you want to tell? Now, if you put it in another character's voice, or you put it in your own voice, but this is a situation that the reader doesn't know about. Like when I was a stand-up comedian. So you give him that life, and then you put yourself in it, and so it what it does is I saw that what interests people is really not what's funny. When I do funny characters, comic character acting, I always did comic character acting. I'd take a character and I'd make them funny, comic.
Mhm.
No, that's okay. I got away with it because I did it well, I guess. But that's not what acting is about. Acting is about telling the truth in a true way, which means you got to be totally calm and relaxed to let the truth come out. You can't, if you're uptight about acting or about life, you're guarded. So what people are interested in is the truth, and acting is about emotional truth. And I never understood emotional truth. I always understood truth. Well, this is funny. If you do this and you're in this situation, that's funny. But there's a third thing, is an emotional truth that not only makes it funny, but it goes in quicker and faster and deeper. You know, uh, And that I discovered by writing, because I was very truthful in my writing. My writing is probably way better than my acting. It tells more about people and situations than my characters do. And now that when I put it away for a month, this one, and then I did some movie acting for friends, and I'm doing another one next month. I found out that my characters are much deeper now. They're better. I mean, I even the director of this last thing that I did mentioned that, Uh, so yeah, it helped me a lot.
Nice. I can't wait to see some of these new projects you got working on right now. But another
Well,
thing we have
probably won't come out for a year, but yeah, good.
something we haven't talked about yet is you made an appearance in the Friends HBO special. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, it's stupid. It's totally stupid. And once you get away from acting, yeah, again, it's like putting a book away. I've been away from acting now for 5 years, except to do these little things for friends that, they're either film shorts or obscure movies, small movies that they raise the money for themselves. And they get just broadcast in places where you're not popular. So you don't really see them, or a lot of fans don't see them. But I see them. Either I go to the premiere or whatever, and I notice. I go, "Whoa, man!" Or the directors react in different ways. Uh, this one particular one that I just did, where his directing was different. It was deeper. Uh, he wanted me to do more, and I could do it. I could. And the secret was I was totally relaxed. I guess I've done so many movies. To do one for a friend is just freeing. It's, oh, thank God there's no cops, financial cops, time is money cops,
Yeah.
guys in suits sitting around going, hey, we got to, time is money, time is money. You do it with your friends. You can experiment. You could, work with them. Hey, let me try this. That, and it works. I'm much more relaxed, and I used to, when I would work with other, famous, good actors, solid actors who've been doing it for years. I would ask them, like, give me a hint, give me a clue, give me something. And they all somewhere along the line would, boil it down to, you got to be very relaxed. You got to be relaxed. And I would be doing the opposite, acting my parts, my comic parts. I'd try to get the lines down, and I'd try to make sure it's going to be funny, and, make it all neat, and color inside the lines. And it would work, oh, exactly what we wanted. Thank you very much. Cool. And then the fans would say, oh, that was really funny what you did. But now that these friends are asking me to do serious roles, and I can make the serious roles just a little humorous, I could bring that in. But the way to get serious is to be very relaxed. Don't worry about time or saying the lines right. It's the emotional, because that's what people key in on. If you're emotionally true, maybe you stutter. Well, people stutter, or they go, when they talk. They don't just, there's no flow in human relations.
Yeah.
That's for rappers and actors and musicians. But life doesn't have flow, right? Life is out of focus. It's stuttering. It's, excuse me, I got to leave for a second. But if they see an emotional truth, which is very hard to do, and only if to bring that up in a false situation. Hey, we're acting here. This is not life. There's lights and cameras. But emotional truth gets through all that, gets past all that. And people recognize it and they watch it. They go, whoa, it doesn't recognize as, oh, emotional truth. They just say, I like that. That's all. It's likable. It draws them in. That's why memoirs are really cool if you get a good one, if they can write good, because it's some sort of truth. You see how people really operate. I don't know. When I did the last one, this is 2 weeks ago, for a friend again, and he raised the money himself with another friend. So the budget was really tight, and he had to call in a lot of favors, and he had to call in a lot of actors who weren't really actors. They were just friends. And could you help me out in the group scene?
Mm-hmm.
But they always wanted to be actors. So this was a chance, they never pursued it. But now a friend asks him to be in his movie, So when they saw that I was an actor, I had chops, I knew what I was doing. Every once in a while, they'd come up, I was sitting alone. They'd say, well, could you give me a hint? Just like me when I was starting. They just, hey, could you give me some hints as to how to be an actor, And I could finally tell them something. And what I just said was, just relax, man. You got to be relaxed or it doesn't help. Trying doesn't help. Being helps.
I have found with like the smaller productions, like indie films, they get a lot more creative with like, when they need to use some practical effects or whatever they need to use within their movie, they get a lot more creative in doing so. And sometimes it turns out better than like a CGI would in a big budget movie. I love small films, and I think the people that do them, not all of them, but the people that really love the craft, they do such a good job with those projects with such a small budget that it's amazing to me.
Well, yeah, because they're able, I guess. I mean, I don't know, but I guess that because they're smaller, just like for me, you can relax. There's nobody around. I mean, the first thing that that no other director has said in the professional world, in the Hollywood world, where I grew up as an actor, from the time I've been 18 until right now, I've made my living as a performer. Sometimes starving as a performer, sometimes acting as a performer, sometimes getting a lot of money as a performer, sometimes not getting the job as a performer. But the lower budget ones, in those movies, the professional ones, no person has ever said to me, well, just, you get the gist of it. You got to say this, though, because somebody refers to that, 2 days ago, they referred to what you're saying here. So you got to say that because it's already been referred to. But other than that, you can, just get it down so it fits the scene, Nobody's ever said that to me. 2 weeks ago, my friend said, yeah, well, you got to say this because there's going to be a voiceover that reminds somebody that you said this. But other than that, just kind of get it, just, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be exact. But so I did it exact. I mean, because I didn't have to, I could. That's simple.
Yeah, it took the pressure off, right?
It took the pressure off. You don't have to say it exactly, you know what I mean? But, get it down to what's needed,
Mm-hmm.
I did it exactly because I didn't have, yeah. So, and it came out more truthful because I was relaxed about it.
Yeah.
And so these kids came up to me. I'm not kids, they're young men, young women. They said, hey, that thing that you did. One of them said something really incredible. He said, yeah, that song thing. And I go, he said, that song thing that you did. This is like a week ago. And I go, song thing? I didn't do any song. There's no song in this. What are you talking about? He said, that one riff, that thing where you were hollering at the guy and you said that you're going to punch him or whatever. I just, ranted at some guy. Blah, 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 blah. Why'd you do this? And blah, blah, blah. And it just came out in one flow, just no hesitation, just. And he said, well, I was referring to that. Well, I said, that wasn't a song. I was angry at the guy. I was just, getting it off my chest. He said, yeah, but it came out so rhythmically. It was like a song. And I went, holy cow, to talk about the truth. Because I said it when I said it to this guy. I was angry at the guy, and I said it like Larry. I mean, as the character, but it was Larry's anger that I was using. And there was the guy said, just say it, well, however you want, but get it across that you didn't like it, and the food is bad. Okay? And say that thing that they're going to refer to. So he said that, so that thing that he said about the song thing convinced me that, wow, my theory is right. I'm relaxed. It's a small thing. The guy took the kibosh off of it. He said, don't worry about it. And so I was so relaxed, my emotional truth came through. Something that I really felt honestly, that this guy was screwing around with me, and he served me bad food, and I don't have to take that. I just laid it out, and it worked. And even the director said, hey, that was, really nice. That's what we needed. But I would never have been done that in these Hollywood things. It's always, well, and also I was a lead character in that scene a week ago. I've never had, I always was the sidekick to the lead actor. Mainly I was that. So I always had to defer to his strength, and since I really never went to acting school and didn't know about emotional truth, it was very difficult for me memorizing lines and keeping up with, the star, like when I did Escape from Alcatraz. I mean, all my scenes were with Clint Eastwood, all of them. I mean, between me and him, not that he was in the scene and I was in the scene. No, it was just me and him. So yeah, I picked up a lot of hints, about acting. He's an amazing actor, Clint Eastwood. Mm-hmm. Totally relaxed. Even when he's angry, he is so relaxed. We had a scene where, we weren't angry with one another, but there was an emotional tension or something. So I would go, here's what he would do. I would go, da-da-da-da-da-da. And he would just go like that, da-da-da-da. So I would go, da-da-da-da. And he would just go like that. Not that he would force himself or place himself. My concept, even while I was doing the scene, was, oh my God, this guy is a cork, and he's floating on whatever I do. As much energy as I'll throw out, he'll just bob to the top of it. The more I give him, boop. So it's like water in a cork. The water cannot get higher than the cork. It's just no fucking way, man. And I realized that after the scene was over. I said, oh, that is so cool. He's so relaxed that he's just riding on my energy. It was a wonder to behold. that I realized that, after this. So yeah, so you put things together and you grow. You don't stop. You just, because I am interested in performing. I'm a performer. I mean, I'm a born performer. But there's a right way and there's a wrong way. There's chops. There's a way to do it. And since I was always an improviser, either the stand-up comedian, never wrote anything, always talked off the top of my head and then said it. You tell the same story over and over, you start to whittle it down to, a Steely, my friend used to say. Steely, get down to it. Just that little, he would say, Steely, Larry, Steely. He's talking about marble. You ever play marbles?
It's been a while, but yeah, I have.
Well, yeah, when we were kids. Yeah, well, the whole point that he was saying, because he's referring exactly to that, that in marbles back in the day when I got 7, 8, 9, one of the things was you have these marbles which are made out of marble, you know, fake marble or real marble, round little marbles. But every once in a while, somebody came in with a ball bearing, a large ball bearing, a steely. That's what a steely was. Hey, man, you can't use a steely. Why can't you use a steely? Well, after you play with a couple of people, and every once in a while somebody comes in with a steely, how you win with a steely, and the reason you bring a steely, not a regular marble, is if you the whole point of marbles is you dig a hole in the dirt with your heel. You dig your heel down and you go like that, and you get a hole. Okay, now the point is to knock the next guy's. I have to knock your marble into the hole. So so you gotta. It's like pool, but I use your marble. So I gotta knock it into the hole. Okay, so you lost your marble. You're out of the game. But a steely, if I hit you, even if it doesn't go in the hole, it breaks your marble. The steely. If you do it hard enough, like if I get about that close to your marble, I don't care where I knock your marble. I'm going to just do it as hard as I can. And if I'm that far away, I just crack your marble in half. So sometimes if you've been around in the marble world, you say the rule, because you always set the rules before you dig the hole. That was okay. No steelies, because guys waiting to break your marble. And of course, you have a favorite shooter. So you don't want anybody to break that. So if you see a steely, no steelies, man. But they're these naive kids, and you have the steely. And you hope nobody says, no steelies, because, you're going to win this. So I don't know where I went with that, but I don't know how I got onto marbles. But acting is like marbles. I guess that's what I'm saying. Acting is like marbles.
Well, everybody, the book is called That Guy by Larry Hankin. I will have the link in the description below for Amazon. Check out patreon.com/Larry Hankin as well. We got a lot of fun stories about Larry's childhood, growing up, going to, improv and so forth throughout his career. So definitely check that out. And again, Larry, thank you so much for joining me today.
Cool. Anytime.
All right, everybody.